where you are supposed to be is where you deserve to be as long as you put in the work.
When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run. I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision.
Woo! Welcome everyone to your one-stop shop for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams. Let's get right into it. So, imagine that you're locked in a room and all of a sudden you enter this room and you're locked into it with 7 of the most trustworthy people that you know, and you're connecting with them and they're sitting you down, but you weren't anticipating this moment, all right? You were not anticipating to be locked in this room with these individuals at this particular moment in time. It was a surprise. Now, you didn't know that you needed this, but this is the mid-year intervention reality check that you have been looking for, even though, well, you really haven't been looking for it. But here I am, your host, Tariq Williams, with the intervention, that mid-year check, reality check, to see, are you actually where you want to be? Let's hold yourself accountable. Because you're thinking, do I really need this? Do I really need to take this check-in halfway through the year when I made the resolution and different goals that I've made? Imagine this. You hop in your car and you're driving. You're driving wherever it is you want to drive, okay? Now tell me this. When you're driving, have you ever looked at the amount of fuel you have in your car? All right, the short answer is yes. I'm sure you've looked at the amount of fuel in your car because you have to check on that. But imagine if that did not exist, that you could not check on the amount of fuel you had in your car, that it just didn't exist. That doesn't actually make sense, Tariq. Of course it doesn't. So therefore, we have to have some type of check to make sure we're where we want to be, or just in general, see where we actually are throughout the year. So this is our halfway intervention, our reality check throughout the year to just see where we're at. Not necessarily where we want to be, not necessarily thinking about where we're not, just seeing where we are. Where do your feet lie currently on your journey to your destination? So the first part of this intervention is the reflection piece. Now, there's no doubt about it. You're not where you were in January. So leave space to be proud of that. Be proud of the fact that you're not where you were in January because you've put in work, you've made things happen, and you're not just relaxing, right? You have done some work since January. Now, during the reflection piece, give yourself grace for the things you feel like you may not have accomplished, because there have been things that have come up, right? There have been things that have come up that you weren't necessarily anticipating. You only know what those things are. The struggles, the adversity, the hardships, the roadblocks, all those different things. You recognize those things, but yet you've still gotten to where you are in your journey. So give yourself grace, but also don't be too hard on yourself. When you're giving yourself grace, it's easy to go down that rabbit hole of giving yourself, quote unquote, too much grace. And then you start thinking, but I didn't do this, and I should have did that, and I should have did that, and I was late to that appointment, and you know what? I'm just struggling, and I probably shouldn't try anymore. No, absolutely not. We're not doing that here, because that turns into dwelling. We don't dwell here. We find ways to take steps and move forward. So we reflect and we learn from those situations so that we can hold ourselves accountable. Because what happened a month ago, that already happened. Therefore, we learn from that situation, we learn from that hardship, and we make ourselves better in the process. That is what reflecting is, making ourselves better in the process. And that's why it's so important to reflect, because it helps us understand our process. We learn more about ourselves, and then we take the steps to move forward. Now, after we have reflected and have gained that clarity, well, now where's our feet at? Where are we right now? Okay. We have to refocus. Now, why haven't you always been focused? Is it a time management piece? Is it not continuing to connect with your why? Is it losing the things that drive you, your emotions? Have your emotions been in a lot of different places where you're not as focused as you were in January? We need to refocus, figure out why we haven't been focused, refocus, and connect with that why. Why do you deserve your dreams? Because you know that you deserve it. It wouldn't have been your dream if you didn't deserve it. Your dream is not the person that has been sitting next to you. There are different dreams out there for each and every one of us. But it's up to you, if you want to take control of that, refocus so that you can be where you are supposed to be, right? And real quick, I'm not here to tell you where you're trying to be, not where you think you should be. Where you are supposed to be is where you deserve to be, as long as you put in the work. Do you believe in it? Do you believe in what you want to do? Because if you actually believe in it, you recognize that why, you refocus, you find your center, and you don't only think about where you're supposed to be, you put yourself in that position, because that is what we are doing here. We're putting ourselves in the position we want to be. We're not trying to do it. We are doing it. Let's get it. That English was great there. Oh, well, the fact of the matter is, see, I get really excited about the journey here and about getting to that destination, but recognizing the fact that it's not necessarily about the destination. It's about making sure we have enough fuel in the tank to get there. So as we continue, we have reflected. We have, I'm sweating out here. I'm getting excited. All right. And here we go. So I'm getting excited because it's reflecting, it's refocusing. And finally, number 3, re-energizing. So re-energize. Once you have that reflection piece down and you have that refocusing piece settled and you're focused on where it is you want to be, so you're putting yourself in that position, we're re-energizing. So what does it mean to re-energize? Well, what it really means to re-energize is you've already started doing this as you've refocused, right? But start putting yourself in some new situations. Network with like-minded individuals who are doing what you want to do, who are on their way, who've been to where you want to be, and then continue moving forward. Meet new people, put yourself in situations, network, recognize that it's okay to be uncomfortable. Recognize that it's okay to be uncomfortable, because no matter how much I talk about this, the fact is, uncomfortable is still uncomfortable for you right now. And that's not okay. That's not okay. Be comfortable with that so that you can feel re-energized to move forward to new and greater heights. Don't you recognize that your destination and where you want to be, you're not there yet? So the fact that you're not there yet means that it's going to be new to you, which means that it's going to be an uncomfortable situation for you. And so if that destination that you're looking for is going to be uncomfortable, you got to put yourself and some uncomfortable situations before you even get to that. See, there's levels to this, right? And so as we go on this check-in piece here, as we're checking in, you recognize the fact that you're proud of what you've done so far, okay? You're not where you were when you first started this journey, so be proud of that. However, we're not satisfied with that. We're holding ourselves accountable each and every day to set those short-term goals, to set those long-term goals, to be resilient, to fight those roadblocks. I'm getting re-energized. And get to that destination. But recognize the fact that you're building character along the way to that destination. Like, think about it, okay? How many one-hit wonders have we thought were only going to be one-hit wonders that have made some great strides in music? You know, and don't get me wrong, we have our one-hit wonders that have only been one-hit wonders. However, we don't do incomplete here. That's not us. We have sustainable growth here on the podcast. So, like, think about it. There were so many individuals that believed when Justin Bieber, for example, his first hit, I think it was Baby, right? And he had that high-pitched voice and everybody was loving it. And we're like, okay, he's going to last a little bit. And then there's not going to be too much for him after that. But how many of you all right now are getting your peaches from Georgia? And we're not going to talk about where you're getting from California, but that's besides the point. Nevertheless, he had some sustainable growth, right? He found ways to adapt to his voice as it changed, as he's grown, and move forward, okay? Now, see that for you. Reflect, learn from those lessons, learn from those mistakes. Don't dwell, refocus, recognize your why, connect with your why, ask yourself why at least 4, 5, 6, 7 times, get to the root of that why, to refocus yourself, and then re-energize. Re-energize yourself into a place where you're networking, getting in those uncomfortable situations on a daily basis, so that once you get to that destination, you know it's where you're supposed to be. But here's the secrets revealed piece. Your destination is waiting for you. Your dreams are waiting for you. What you've accomplished is nothing short of great. However, there's a lot more waiting for you. You know what we're about here. We don't do incomplete. Finish the job. And with that, not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. And this was your mid-year check-in, your mid-year intervention. Let's get it, everyone.
When adversity came, I could have fell apart, but I chose instead to follow my heart. When adversity comes, I will never run. I will adjust, adapt, and overcome. Vision.